Okay, hey folks, we're going to go ahead and get this thing going. I do want to welcome you here today to the Lion Share Overview. My name is James Ward. I'm excited to be your host here today to tell you everything you need to know about Lion Share. So, I'd like to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're at. We literally have people from all over the world that come and join us here. We just got started, let's see here, on Tuesday afternoon, my time. So it was about 4 or 5 hours later than this. We've already had, I think like 38,000 people come into this company. So it's an amazing thing. I mean, we had a call 3 hours ago and I started off by saying we had 34,000. So that kind of puts into perspective how things are going inside of our company, our smart contract, and how exciting it is. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give you a presentation on exactly what Lion Share is all about. And then at the end, we might bring out a few people just to tell a little bit about what success has been for them so far just in these first couple days, which is important. So I believe everybody can see my screen here. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Now, if you are just seeing Lion Share for the first time, what I believe you're going to learn here today is that this is something that is truly for anyone who is out there right now that needs to earn income from home, that's been looking, maybe you've had some struggles with the current pandemic that's been out there. I can tell you in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like this. In the United States, especially, it just keeps getting worse. I know in other countries it's getting better, but it took its toll, right? It took people's lives. Unfortunately, it took things away from people. It took jobs. It took bankrupt companies. There were a lot of things. And here's the deal. I don't like giving power to the pandemic, so don't get me wrong. But the reality is the reality. There's been a crisis. And there's crises all the time. And in any crisis, there's opportunity. And I believe truly that Lion Share is that opportunity. And I think you're going to see here in just a second why so many people so quickly have been so excited about what we have going on. We built this thing up we had pre-launch for like about 3.5, 4 weeks. We just went live on Tuesday, as I said, and we've already had so many people that have had some real life-changing income for them and their families. And, I want to show you how you can do the exact same. So let's talk about Lion Share, exactly what it is. Lion Share is a smart contract that is located directly on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, if you're new to cryptocurrency, what I just said was probably like a different language. Here's what I want to tell you. Don't get too caught up on the details of that. Only get caught up on the details of how it can benefit you, okay? Because that's the important thing. Not very many people know exactly how a smart contract works, but the bottom line is there are benefits, and that's what we're going to talk about here today. Number one benefit is that a smart contract is decentralized, meaning that it is self-operating. It doesn't require a company owner. It doesn't require an admin. The system operates on its own without any of that. Everything is executed effectively, efficiently, and perfectly on a smart contract without the inclusion of a company, which can be a very good thing. Our smart contract, specifically to us, of course, I'm biased here, but I believe it's the best of the best, right? I think that if anyone knows how to read a smart contract, you're going to see that our code is completely flawless. It's perfect. And we have some amazing things that came from that. But it took a lot of time. It took resources. It took time. I mean, everything that you can think of, it took blood, sweat, and tears to get it to where it's at. But here's the deal. It is a peer-to-peer system. And what that means for you is this. Oftentimes when you look at any type of home business, there's usually some type of company that's involved that's managing the money, right? And they're the ones that send out the commissions and things like that. In a smart contract, with it being peer-to-peer, the smart contract does all the work. So it tells you exactly when someone pays, it tells people exactly where the money is supposed to go. And that's not to a company. It's not to a top wallet. It's not to an admin. It's directly to the person who is owed the commission, right? So you never have to wait like a day, a week, a month. I mean, it is instantly and directly paid to your wallet, which is awesome, right? I mean, how many times have you been in a pinch where you need money now? Well, now is the ability for you to be able to create that for you and your family instantly. Now, in addition to that, when I look at businesses, I traditionally look at the risk. Like, if I get started in this, is there any chance I'm going to get my money back? Number one, right? Number two, if I get started with this, are other people going to be willing to do it? Is it going to make sense to them? And then also, if I refer others, is the company going to go out of business? Am I going to have to, hide from these people after I refer them? all those things that you've dealt with in the past. Well, the risk is completely removed with a smart contract. And here's the reason why, okay? Number one, the smart contract cannot be manipulated. It cannot be changed at all, okay? So what that means is eh, the compensation plan that we look at today, the way that the payment structure is set up is already there. It cannot be changed whatsoever, okay? So you never have to worry about a company because there's not a company going out of business. This thing will last and it will continue to bless people over and over. So that risk that you might have is definitely removed. Now, you can work on your business directly from your laptop. You can use your cell phone. That's completely up to you. And everything we do here is 100% in Ethereum. So every commission that's paid is in Ethereum, which is awesome. Now, if you don't know what Ethereum is, you can look it up, but it's the second largest cryptocurrency in the world. It's also one of the fastest moving. So the technology behind Ethereum, in my opinion, is probably the best out there. The size of Ethereum itself is only second to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still number one. I still really like Bitcoin, but I've really come to love Ethereum as well because there's so many advantages to using it, including the speed in which things are processed, which is absolutely awesome. Now, just like with Bitcoin, they anticipate that the price of Ethereum will be drastically going up over the next 12 to 24 months. So, not only is this something that can help you with your immediate needs, your immediate bills, but it's also something that could help you build some wealth as you accumulate this Ethereum, which is really cool. Now, let's talk about transparency. When I think transparency, I think, hey, can the company tell me everything that's going on? Number two, when we look out in the industry today, there's so many people putting out, income claims and all this other junk that usually is not true. What's awesome about a smart contract is every single transaction in the smart contract is right there. Okay. It's right there for you to see. Not only your transactions, everybody's transactions. Okay. So there's no more of that nonsense of, hey, I'm making all this money and you should come join me. The reality is right there, right? Everybody can log into everybody else's account. So what that means is this: it creates an environment of autonomy and trust. Like, we're all in the same community. We're all working towards the same things. You're going to be part of something when you're part of Lionshare, and it's going to be transparent, which is really cool. Now, a few different things that you need to know about Lionshare that differentiates us from other smart contracts. There's some really good other smart contracts out there, okay? So I know we're not the only one, and we're not the people who are going to go out there and start bashing on others just to do business. Our proof is obviously in our system, in our code, and in the people that we've been able to attract. We don't have to concentrate on anyone else. But there are some key things that you need to know about ours that separates us from anybody else. Starting with, anyone that you personally refer to our company will always stay with you. They will always follow you through the system. Now, what I mean by that is oftentimes you go out there and you do the work, okay? So you refer a friend, a family member, you refer someone on social media, maybe you spend money on marketing. I don't know how you get the people, but they finally say yes. You get them into another smart contract or another company, and what happens? They start following someone else, right? Whether it be someone else in the company, maybe they go all the way to the top of the company. It happens all different ways. The bottom line is that's not the way we do it, okay? When you do the work, the people stay with you. And I'm going to show you how important that is as we get going here. But that's the number one thing you need to know about this system. Number two, there's two different matrices that you're going to look at here today. There's one that is your personal matrix. So, the people that you personally refer will be coming into this matrix. The second matrix is your team building matrix. It's where you can literally work with others around you and be able to create income. We know that not everybody out there is like a superstar recruiter, right? Not everybody can go out there and just put 100 people into their business. Well, you might be able to now when I show you how easy this is going to be. But most people, don't fall into that category. So there's a way that you can work as a team unit and be able to create some income as well, which is really attractive to people, okay? Now, when we look at the affordability of this system, I know for a fact you're going to be blown away. Not only is it so simple to understand, it's affordable to the masses and all the other things I just told you. So the affordability is going to be important. I'm about to show you that here in just a second. The last thing is, look, you are truly one of the very first people in this world to join. You're one of the first, right? You're one of the first to hear about this. I believe that by the end of next week, we'll be close to 100,000 people in this contract. I believe that in less than 6 months, we'll have 1 million people in this contract. So to know today that, hey, even if you're one of the first 50,000 or 200,000 or 500,000, you're still early to the game, right? And what's awesome about this, it's an even playing field. It doesn't matter when you necessarily come in, as long as you come in and get started, that's your quickest path to being able to earn some Ethereum. So let's look at the two different platforms that we have here. We have what we call the L1 and the L2. The L1 right here and L2 right here. Now, what you can see is that both of these platforms the starting price is 0.02 in both of them. They both go all the way up to 16 Ethereum, as you can see right there. Now, the cool thing about this is you can start wherever you want, okay? You can start with just the first package. You can start with the first 5 or 7 or 14, whatever, okay? It's going to depend on two things, your budget and whoever invited you here today. You'll need to get back with them to see if there's a strategy that they're using that might benefit you, okay? Now, but here's what's cool about the platform. When someone comes in and join, they're going to join the 0.02 level on L1 and L2 simultaneously. So it's 0.04 to get started. Now, I want you to do the math in your own currency. In US dollars, that's less than $10, okay? So think about that for a second. Most companies, when they try to create some type of affordable package, it's usually like $100 or $200. There's big monthly fees. Here you're looking at for less than $10, someone can get started, right? And they can build up. As they grow, they can build up. I want you to think about what type of game changer that is in the industry, period, okay? Not only do you have no geographical limitations, we can do business in any country in the world as long as someone can have an Ethereum wallet. But number two, you have a price point that starts at less than $10. Can you start to see now why people are fired up about this? Now, the next thing is how do you actually earn, okay? What I love about our compensation plan is this, okay? We reward people for their personal efforts. We also allow them to do team efforts, but also the simplicity of this compensation plan. You're going to see how simple it really is to understand. I know there's a lot of really cool comp plans out there, a lot of great companies out there that they have several different ways to earn. And the truth is, most of the time, new people especially, they can't even explain it, right? So it's a disadvantage to not being able to understand exactly how you get paid. And there's usually a bunch of hoops and stuff you have to jump through. Well, on this, it's so simple, so easy, and all of you are going to be able to explain it. Okay, so here we go. This is you at the top. We're going to pretend for this example that this is the 0.02 matrix, okay? All the matrices work the same, so it doesn't matter. You just need to understand how it works, okay? So this is you at the top of the matrix. This is your L1, so this is based on your personal cells, okay? Personal cells mean you shared your link, someone signed up with you. And each time that happens, one of those people are going to fill a spot in your matrix. Now, they will always fill the next open spot from left to right, okay? So if you referred your first person, they would go right here. Person 2 would go right here, and person 3 would go right there, right? Left to right. Now, let's break it down a little bit further, okay? So here you are. You joined at 0.02. You referred your first person that also joined at 0.02. Well, they're going to pay you that 0.02. So you just made 100%, right? Now, in addition to that, the second person you refer is also going to pay you 0.02. So if we just stop right there, you now have 0.04 in your Ethereum wallet. You started with 0.02. So you have doubled your Ethereum. The third cell here is going to be paid up to your sponsor, okay? So that one doesn't go to you. It goes to your sponsor. But here's the cool thing about that, okay? It's going to encourage your sponsor to want to help you, number one. But number two, it does what we call a cycle. And a cycle is going to create a brand new matrix that looks exactly like this, and you get to fill it up again. Now, another key thing inside of our system that you need to understand that differentiates us from other smart contracts out there. When you cycle, okay, when you cycle inside of any of our packages, you can do it as many times as you want. Oftentimes, what a smart contract will do is it'll say, okay, we're going to allow you to cycle at this package, but if you don't upgrade to the next package, we're just going to keep all those earnings. Well, we just don't think that that's good business. It's your Ethereum. You can upgrade whenever you want because the incentive to upgrade is there. You don't have to be forced to do it. You should be able to do it naturally. So let me break this down in the simplest terms that I can so you'll be able to take this today and share it with people. And it's so easy, okay? So here you are at the top of the matrix. Cell number 1 and cell number 2 are going to 100% that's going to be paid to you. Spot number 3 will be paid to your sponsor, and we'll create a new matrix where you can do that over and over. Did you see how quick that was? How easy and how simple that is? Any of you on here can say, hey, I'm at the top of my matrix. I know the first two cells go to me. The third one goes to my sponsor, and it creates a new matrix for me, and I just keep doing it. Any of you can do that, right? Simplicity. There's power in that. Now let's talk about the L2 package. The L2 package is the business building center, okay? Like your team building, you're working with others. Remember, there's no economical limitations anymore because we know people can get in for less than $10. There's no geographical limitations. We can work in anywhere in the world, right? The simplicity in which we operate, people can understand. There's no company that you have to wait for commissions. Think about how this starts to add up and how powerful this actually is, okay? Now, here's the thing about the L2 matrix. It's a different structure than the L1. As you can see, there's 6 positions. So there's 2 directly underneath you and then 4 directly underneath that. That's number 1. Number 2, you don't personally have to refer anyone into this matrix to be able to earn. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't, okay? The truth is this. The truth is if you want to earn more income for you and your family, you're going to work your business. For those that want to sit here and just wait on spillover, it can happen, right? I mean, the spillover can happen. You can earn without personally referring. But I got to tell you, that is not the way that you get to the actual nice income that you want. You got to build your business, right? But what's cool about this is you don't have to build it on your own because this matrix can fill by you or it can fill by people above you or below you, and you can benefit from it. So let's break it down, okay? Here you are at the top. Again, let's just say it's a 0.02 matrix. The first 2 cells come in, okay? Spot number 1 and spot number 2 are filled by you or someone above you, okay? It could happen, will happen in many cases. These 2 spots are going to be paid upline. By upline, I'm not talking about your sponsor. I'm talking about whose ever matrix this is in. You're going to be in someone else's matrix on a regular basis, okay? Spot number 3, 4, and 5, 100% of this is paid to you. So again, let's just back here for a second. 3, 4, and 5, 100% of that goes to you. So you started at 0.02. You just collected 0.02 3 different times. So now you have 0.06, which means you tripled your Ethereum at this point. Now, that means that you tripled your Ethereum and you may not have referred a single person into this platform. Pretty cool, right? Spot number 6 is paid to your sponsor, which creates a brand new matrix that looks exactly like this again, but it's empty, and you get to fill it and people get to help you fill it again. Now, again, remember, this is important. We allow you to cycle as many times as you want on any matrix without forcing you to do anything as far as upgrading, which is important. You upgrade when you want to. So let me break this down for you in under the 10 seconds, as I always say, okay? Here you are at the top. You paid 0.02. 2 people come in. Number 1 and number 2 are going to be paid upline. Spot number 3, 4, and 5, you're going to earn 100% of that commission. And spot number 6 is going to be paid to your sponsor and is going to create a new matrix. Simple, right? Anybody can do it. Anybody can say, hey, I know in the L2, 1 and 2 go upline, 3, 4, and 5 go to me, and 6 goes to my sponsor. And I just keep doing that. Anybody can understand that, right? So here's the cool thing that I want to share with you. If you remember, I told you the number one thing that separates us from other companies out there or other smart contracts is that your people always follow you, right? They always stick with you. They always follow you. So even though you don't have to personally refer people into this matrix, let's assume for a second that you did, okay? Let's say that you put all 6 people in personally. You went out there, you shared your link, 6 people joined and they filled up this matrix. Well, if you did that, okay, the comp plan will work the same. 1 and 2 would still go upline. You'd still get paid on 3, 4, and 5, and 6 would still be paid to your sponsor. But here's where things really get interesting, okay? Those 6 people that you personally sponsored, when they cycle, they are going to follow you into your next available spot in your matrix, okay? So if all 6 of them cycled and you had an empty matrix, they would fill right back into your matrix and create another cycle for you, which means income, right? So think about this. Let's imagine you had 10 or 20 people, right? 20 people. Let's just say 20 people that you personally referred, and they were cycling once a day or once every day or once a week. What would that do for your income? They always follow you into the next matrix. It's so powerful. If you understand that concept, you're going to understand the power of teamwork and how you can really create some income for yourself. Now, what you're looking at right now is the profitability potential for the L1, okay? The L1 is your personal referral matrix, okay? Now look, what this is showing is that if you start at 0.02 and you just upgrade, okay? Every time you cycle, you upgraded. So 0.02, you cycled, you upgraded to 0.05. At 0.05, you cycled, you went to 0.1. all the way through 16 levels. Okay. If you did that and you only cycled one time on all 16 levels, it would be 55.59 Ethereum. What if you cycled 10 times or 50 times? We will have people that will absolutely do that. Okay. So it's very, very powerful. Now, let's look at the L2. Same exact example. You start at the lowest level. You upgrade each time you cycle all the way through 16 levels. This is only showing one cycle on each level to 111 Ethereum. Folks, come on now. That is life-changing income, right? Now multiply that times 10 if you cycled each level 10 times. We'll have people do it. We might have people do it within the first week. I don't know. But there will be a lot of people who are cycling just exactly like this and much, much higher. We have several people, I don't know what the number is, but I'm going to guess we have hundreds of people that have already earned over 100 Ethereum right now in only 3 days or 2.5 days, whatever you'd like to call it. So we're going to finalize this thing up, finish it up here. I want to remind you how your commissions get paid because it's important, right? The comp plan's important to understand, but I do want to remind you that this is peer-to-peer, okay? And the reason why I want to remind you is because that means nothing can be screwed up, okay? You're paid instantly and directly. The smart contract knows exactly who to pay, and it will never fault, right? It always sends the money exactly where it's supposed to go, instantly and directly to you. So back to, if you have a need right now, like if you have a need today, you can get paid today by working your business, not waiting a week or a month or even a day, like now, right? That is amazing. That's powerful. So for some of you who may not know what lion's share is, I just like to share this with people. A lion's share, if you Google it, you'll see in any business transaction, whoever gets the largest financial portion of that transaction is said to have the lion's share. It's time to get yours, don't you think? So all you have to do to get started here today is have a wallet. A wallet is completely free to set up. We have two different wallets that work directly with our system. We have what we call MetaMask. That wallet right there with the little fox right here will be a Chrome extension. And so Chrome being on your computer or your desktop, okay, this is the one that's for your computer or desktop. Get with your sponsor. They'll help you set it up. It takes like a minute maybe. We also use Trust Wallet. If you have an Android phone, you can use Trust Wallet. Okay, so Android phone, you can use Trust Wallet. Again, completely free to set up. So that's all you need, that and some Ethereum. So as you can see, what this does is that it allows us to do business anywhere, as I already mentioned. Imagine, being in the United States and working with people in Japan, in Africa, in Asia, or wherever you're located on the other side of the world, right? You can work with anyone and create some awesome opportunity for you and your family financially. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come out and watch this presentation.